Okay, grab a Red Bull. It's time to talk bluebooking. We can't go over every type of citation in this course, so we'll cover the common ones. But if your practice or your brief involves a different type of authority, like statutes or a specific publication, you need to look it up. You might also look at how they're cited in other briefs. First up, how to cite cases. Many errors get made because lawyers copy and paste the cite from Westlaw or Lexis. The way sources are listed online isn't Bluebook format. Here's how a cite appears on Westlaw. And here's how it looks when it's Bluebooked. Let's walk through common mistakes made with the different components of the citation. The case name, the reporter volume number and pin cite, the court, and the date. The format depends on whether the case is reported or unreported. For reported cases, here's a list of things to check. In the case name, check for abbreviations. Table T6 lists the words that should be abbreviated in the cite. There's also a short list of words that are always abbreviated, even when you discuss the case in a sentence, like co for company. Geographic terms also get abbreviated in case names. Check table T10.1. State abbreviations aren't the usual ones. For example, Florida is FLA, not FL. And just to keep you on your toes, Alaska is written out in full. If there's more than one plaintiff or defendant, just include the first party, and there's no need to say at all. For reporters, the abbreviations are something you have to look up. Tables T1.1 and T1.3 list all the federal and state court reporters. Another thing to look out for is spaces. Usually, if the second part of the reporter is 4 letters or more, there's a space before it. This is one where copy-pasting from online will usually get it wrong. So for example, the federal reporter is cited like this, with no space. But the federal supplement is cited like this because sup has 4 letters. When there's more than one reporter you could cite to, like a regional and a state court reporter, check local rules and the judge's individual rules to see if there's a preference. Also, sometimes there's a local practice for how to cite a reporter that's different from the Bluebook rules. If you're new to the jurisdiction, check other briefs from the docket to confirm you're getting it right. For how to identify the court, look at tables T7 and T10. The rule about spaces we talked about for the reporter applies here too. For example, the District of Massachusetts is written this way because Mass has 4 letters, but the Southern District of New York is like this because NY is only 2 letters. Isn't this fun? Also pay attention to ordinals, which is a fancy word for numbers like first and second. For courts like the Fifth Circuit, you use regular text for the TH, not superscript. Careful with autocorrect too, it'll automatically change it. And for no reason other than to make your life harder, second and third are written like this, with no N or R, the way the rest of the world writes it. And finally, check the other little details. The spelling of every word, each number, like the reporter volume and the date, and the pin cite. If you cite the wrong number for the case reporter or pin cite, the judge might not be able to find the case or the portion you want them to see. This can be frustrating for the court. They'll have to disregard what might be important authority because they can't review it. For unreported cases, the citation is the same as above, but with a few differences. Since the case isn't reported, you also include the case number from the court where the case was heard. In place of a reporter, you'll cite to the Westlaw or Lexis database number, or the slip opinion. For Westlaw, it's the year, WL, and then a number. For Lexis, it's the same except with an abbreviation for the jurisdiction, Lexis, and then a number. And for a slip opinion you pulled from a case docket, you say slip op. For Westlaw and Lexis cites, since the pin cite comes right after a number, you put a comma before the pin cite. And the Westlaw or Lexis page number has an asterisk before it. Finally, you need the month and day of the decision, not just the year. The months are abbreviated according to table T12.